Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a quest to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about polynomial long division, which is just as terrible and annoying as it sounds. So basically, we're going to be looking at problems like this, where I have the quantity x squared plus 5x minus 4, and I want to divide this by the quantity x plus 2. So how on earth do we do this? This particular example can be done one of two ways, either using polynomial long division, which I'm going to cover in this video, or this one can also be synthetic division, which I'm going to cover in a different video. And synthetic division is definitely easier than polynomial long division, but you can only do it if you have a simple factor like x plus 2. In other words, if I was dividing by so much as x squared plus 2, now you can't do synthetic division. You'd have to do polynomial long division. So the question remains, what are we going to do? How are we going to solve this? So just as a quick reminder, if I wanted to do something like 215 divided by 4, we know what we would do. We'd make that little house. On the inside of the house is the 215. On the outside is the 4. And you ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 2? Well, none. So then you look at 4 goes into 21. 5 times. You do 5 times 4 to get 20. Subtract 20, you're left with 15. And then how many times does 4 go into 15? That's 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. So you subtract 12 and you're left with a remainder of 3, giving you a final answer of 53 3/4. And so we all know how to do this, or if you don't, then you're going to be in trouble for this one. But now I'm just going to take this same concept and apply it to the one we see above. So in other words, inside my house is x squared plus 5x minus 4, and on the outside is what I'm dividing by, which is x plus 2. And then now I have to ask myself, what do I have to multiply by, not even x plus 2, really just the x, the leading term, to get me x squared? And the answer is I need to multiply by x. So I'm going to write the x right here above the x place, not the x squared. And then I have to distribute the x to the x plus 2, giving me x squared plus 2x. And then I'm going to subtract this whole quantity. When I do that, x squared minus x squared gives me 0x squared. And then 5x minus 2x is 3x. And now I'm left with 3x minus 4. And then I repeat. Again, x plus 2, specifically the x, and I ask myself, what do I multiply the x to get me the leading term, 3x? And the answer here is going to be just 3. So, plus 3. I need to distribute the 3 to the x plus 2. That's going to end up being 3x plus 6. And I have to subtract that whole quantity, and the 3x's will cancel. Negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. And since I can't keep going because x can't go into negative 10, needs an x, that negative 10 is my remainder. And the number up here is my answer. So in other words, the final answer, we would write x plus 3 plus negative 10 divided by the divisor, which was x plus 2. If you'd prefer to instead write x plus 3 minus 10 over x plus 2, in other words, just move the negative sign out in front, both of these answers are correct. I don't care which one you write. They're the exact same thing. And that is how we do polynomial long division. And now for the rest of this video, we're just going to do a couple more examples to make sure you get it. So here's the next one. 4x to the 4th divided by 2x squared minus 1. You'll notice this is another way we can write the problem instead of the division symbol. But the process is still going to be the same. The thing you're dividing goes inside my house, and that's going to be the 4x to the 4th. And then on the outside is what I'm dividing by, which is my 2x squared minus 1. And once again, I ask myself, what do I multiply the leading term by, in this case 2x squared, to get me 4x to the 4th? And that's going to be 2x squared, because 2x squared times this 2x squared would get me 4x to the 4th. So in other words, I need to put a 2x squared above my house. And one thing you can do to help yourself out This is not a requirement, but one thing you can do is you can write plus 0x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 0, because that's going to help remind me that those terms are still there. They just happen to be zeros right now. So anyways, I have to distribute my 2x squared to 2x squared minus 1. That's going to be 4x to the fourth minus 2x squared. And watch how I'm lining it up. I always want to line up my powers with each other so I don't make a mistake later on in the problem. And now I'm going to subtract this. So 4x to the fourth will cancel, and then that's just going to be minus negative 2x squared, giving me positive 2x squared. And then if you want, you can still write the plus 0x plus 0. And now the question is, what do I multiply by 2x squared to get me 2x squared? The answer is 1. So that's going to be plus 1. And notice where I'm writing it. I'm writing it in the 1's place. The 0x in the middle I don't even care about. Doesn't matter to me. But now I distribute the 1 to both of those terms. That's going to be 2x squared minus 1. Got to subtract it. And that will get us negative 1, so positive 1. And since that's the end, that's our remainder. So then the final answer is whatever's here, 2x squared plus 1, plus the remainder of 1. So 2x squared plus 1 plus 1 over the divisor, which was 2x squared minus 1. And this is our final answer. So see, not too bad. Very tedious and annoying, but not terrible. Now I just have one more for us today. And now that I think you get it, I encourage you to try this example on your own. We have 8x cubed plus 4x squared divided by 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. So go ahead, pause the video, give it a try, and when you're ready to see my solution, unpause the video. Okay, so first, my house. The thing inside the house is always the numerator, the first term, which is 8x cubed plus 4x squared. And I'll just write the plus 0x plus 0 for good measure. And then outside my house is 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. So I got to play my favorite game. What do I have to multiply by 2x squared to get me 8x cubed? And the answer is 4x. So the 4x will go right here above the x. I then have to distribute 4x to all three of these terms, and that's going to give me 8x cubed minus 8x squared plus 12x. And remember, I got to subtract that entire thing. The 8x cubed cancels. Double negative on the negative 8 makes it plus 8. So 4 plus 8 is 12x squared. And then negative 12x, so minus 12x. And of course, plus 0. Okay, and now I got to ask myself, what do I multiply by 2x squared to get me 12x squared? And the answer is just positive 6. So plus 6 goes there. Distributing the 6 to all three of these terms will get me 12x squared minus 12x plus 18. And I have to subtract this entire thing. So that will give me 0x squared negative 12x plus 12x, because the double negative gets me 0x there. And then negative 18. So really just negative 18. So then once again, my final answer is whatever's here, 4x plus 6, plus negative 18 divided by 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. And there we go. There's our final answer. One thing I did not mention, if we do get a remainder of 0 right here, then your answer would just be 4x plus 6. There'd be no fractions or anything at the end. But obviously, that does not always happen. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.